Warning: the following podcast has been performed by complete idiots. Under no circumstances should anyone attempt this level of idiocy in their own home. Please also note that listening to the following episode may result in mild confusion, occasional laughter, and an overall loss of brain cells. So, without further ado, welcome to the OCP, the original Copycats podcast.
So am I zoomed in? You move forward any bit and you're in. Oh no, you got a bit of leeway. Oh god, that's horrendous. It's going to be another video that the watchers won't see.
Hey now.
You're an all-star. Get your game on. No, that for anybody who would be asking before we start the pod why there's not been videos correlating to the audio podcast, it's because our lovely Alex, bless him, he's very feeble, is the correct word to say.
Feeble?
Yeah, he's broken his foot, all right? And he's been a bit preoccupied. Now that he's got nothing to do, he's been signed off work. He's got nothing to do other than...
I've been in bed feeling sorry for myself, not being able to move.
Yeah, just wallowing in his own self-pity.
Yes.
And the funny thing is his bed for Alex's camera is behind him. So he's there.
How long are my arms?
He could be here. Editing the videos. 6 weeks off work, you lazy shit. I'm sorry. No, it's not fair. He's broken his foot. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I love watching him as much as the next guy, which is nobody else. So we'll give Alex the benefit of the doubt. He's broken his foot.
Thank you.
At least he's getting the episodes out.
They're silver linings.
Eh.
Broke my foot at football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me.
Well, I didn't tell you.
You did.
I told you that.
You didn't tell me how you broke
No.
it, actually. I know it's at football, but I don't know how you've broken it.
I made a class save. So my mate that goes with me, he was having a shot on goal. The ball had gone past me. So I was like, shit. Class defender. About faced, ran towards him as fast as I could.
Yeah.
And then as he was lining up the shot, I lunged forward as fast as
He went as far as he could.
As fast and as far as I could.
Yeah.
And blocked it with my toes, essentially. It was, inches. And as I landed, my foot went like that.
Oh, yeah.
And folded in on itself. And I felt it go, and I was like, oh, okay, that didn't feel good.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't walk on it for the rest of the game. Then I got put in goal. And everyone was
Why
having...
didn't you tell somebody?
I did. I was like, I can't run after the ball or anything.
So why did they still
go
play
and goal,
you?
mate? I'm like, right.
Why did they still play you?
Because we don't have subs. So
Then
we would
go
have been
home.
2 men down on the team.
Broke your foot.
We were already on 6v7.
Oh,
so it would have been...
on this professional game, is it? Oh, sorry, you qualifying for the fucking Euros as well, are you? Don't know why you... What do you just... What, nobody else was like, oh, mate, you should probably get off.
No.
Who runs this team?
My brother.
I know.
To be fair, I don't think anyone knew how bad it was at the time.
They should call him.
They were like, you were right, Alex. I went, yeah, I'll be fine. And they carried on. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be fine, actually, because this is quite painful. And then, yeah.
Call him, sack him. Sack him off. Suck him off.
I went from 0 to 100 real quick. So anyway, I took a couple of days off work, and then I went to the hospital yesterday. I finally was like, come on, get yourself down there, get an x-ray. And then got one, and here we are. Broke my 5th metatarsal. Just the little bone.
Breaking your foot at football can be quite an interesting story, okay? But even you can find a way to fucking ruin that too. I've lost all interest. You started naming big words. I lost all interest.
Which word?
Yeah,
Foot.
fifth. No, it's 5th. I didn't even picture it as like the word. I just number 5 and th. And even that was too much. Yeah.
Oh,
you
dear.
fucking ruined it.
Well, anyway,
I'm glad you broke your foot.
thanks. It's been one of the worst feelings in the world, to be honest. And ironically, that's what we're doing today, Josh.
You think that out of all the shit that's happened to you is one of the worst feelings in the world? Oh my God. Everything else
I
must have
was
been...
trying to segue.
I know exactly what you're doing, but it just didn't make sense for your life.
Okay, this is one of the worst feelings. So we're going to be doing the counter episode to your one.
Yes.
We did the best feelings in the world a couple of weeks back.
Oh, we didn't record it a couple of weeks back. That was ages ago.
So now we're going to
remember.
be doing the worst feelings in the world, and it's going to be hosted by me.
What podcast are we listening to?
The OC me.
That was more of an implication that we haven't done an intro.
Oh.
not. I wasn't having a go like, oh, it's both our podcasts, mate. I wasn't being that fucking.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the OC me, the original Memory Magma.
That's my thing. Can't do that.
Go on.
No, it's your episode.
Oh, okay.
They're all your episodes. They're not.
Right, yeah. So we're doing worst feelings in the world today.
Well, that was the intro.
Yeah.
You didn't even say the OCP. The original Copycats
Well, they know what it is. They
podcast.
clicked on it.
Not necessarily. They might have just.
What?
They might have just.
Robot has gone. This capture thing.
Why do we need capture for them listening to our videos? The fuck? No, it's for porn and important shit. No, they might have auto-played.
That's true.
Ah, done him.
Welcome back to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh my God, he's gone downhill drastically. Sorry, Joe. He also doesn't do an intro.
You not?
They just.
Never listened to one.
I think nor have I. It just has to be enticing to me. I'd be very.
Mike
It'd have to be.
enticing.
It'd have to be very specific. I'll just let you giggle to yourself there. It has to be very specific episodes. I couldn't watch every single episode of Joe Rogan because there's going to be guests on there that I have no interest in. He's one of them.
Joe Rogan.
He's not a guest. And Joe Rogan's here today interviewing Joe Rogan. Just cuts back to him and both sides of the table smoking a doobie. No, I think he just starts talking to the guests and they just hit record. And that's it. That's how their episodes go.
Well, you know, the build-up for our episodes are very rarely that good in the payoff. That's what I want to say, because when you look at the top result here of this Reddit post, waiting to find out something, especially if there's a large chance the outcome will be bad.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather start it off bad and end bad than you've had the same thing consistently throughout?
Yeah.
Yeah, then.
Consistency is key, as
Me
they
too.
say.
Exactly. I don't know what I said there. You're going to have to,
Yeah,
you're gonna have to
luckily.
enhance that. I don't know what fucking stumbled over my fat ass tongue before I said that. Yeah,
Anyway.
Okay, go on then.
So we're on Reddit today, and
Yeah.
we are doing the worst feelings in the world. We're just
Prepare
going
to
to
feel
run
like
through,
shit.
Yeah. We're just going to run through a few of these.
I just let you stare at me.
Just gonna run
When is
through-
the video coming out of us swapping my sunglasses?
Swapping?
Over, by the way? Swapping. There's the big tongue again.
Well, that was the BuzzFeed episode, which was dog shit.
But that part was so good.
That was the only good
That
part.
was.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Doesn't
It'd just be
fucking-
us putting
It didn't make
sunglasses on.
sense anyway. That's why we did it.
Well, maybe I'll release it if people want to see us
I didn't know we were
redo.
cutting that.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did discuss
We did
actually,
discuss
yeah.
it.
I didn't
Um,
realise it was the sunglasses episode.
Yeah.
Just put it up.
Whoa.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
How much time we got? That means nothing to them. Go on and go down the list.
Okay, right, yeah. So we're going to go through Reddit. We're going to
Yeah.
pick a few answers, and we're just going to discuss them
Yeah.
as per usual. So we've got waiting for
Yeah, you made a joke about that one. Move on.
all right. Being forgotten by someone you could never forget.
I don't think I let that many people, have that much control over my life.
What?
As in, like, I couldn't give a shit if somebody forgets about me,
Right.
other than you.
I mean,
I think I'd have a select few.
my gran had dementia.
Well, then
True story, bro.
then that implies that you could never forget. What if you get dementia? Then there you go. You're even.
Well, she's dead. So
Yes, and then if
either
you
way,
but if you get dementia, but you're still remembering it. If you get dementia later on in life and you forget about her, then you're even. You can go up there and be like, I fucking forgot about you too, you bitch. Who the fuck are you?
why would I go over to her and say, "Who the fuck are you?"
What a story to tell. Just go to a randomer and be like, who the fuck are you? Don't know, mate. Oh, there goes another skit. No, being forgotten by somebody who you could never forget, I don't think it'd bother me too, unless I can imagine that's heartbreak. They've, somebody's moved on
Yeah.
from them,
I was watching an episode of New Amsterdam the other day. Very good series. I'd recommend anyone watch that on Netflix currently. And there was a story of a woman and a son, and the woman was basically not recognizing her own son after he'd been sent away to camp for a while. And he came back, and she'd basically had this really tiny tumor in her brain, spoiler alert, and it essentially stopped her from processing memories properly so that she didn't recognize her own son. And the only way that she could get closure was for them to tell her that her son had died.
That's not where a tuna's meant to be.
Something fishy going on there. Being betrayed by someone you trust.
Again, how much time you got?
Fooled you.
I think it's happened once to me.
Okay.
And then it just ended a friendship. So if anything, it's I've done all right. You know what I mean? I think I've done better, to be honest. So sometimes it doesn't always work out for the negative.
No.
So how about you?
No.
You can't remember?
Nope.
That's good. That's fair.
Genuinely.
I think because we've been so picky with the people we're surrounded by for years, I don't think we're in the, the mood to be done. What was the word to say it? We're not really surrounded by people that would betray us.
No.
I think mine was a one-off because it was a forced friendship that was since I was a baby, and we just grew up together, and just he came out of his shell clearly, and it took me a long time to realise who he was.
Yeah.
But that's very rare. Everybody else, I've had friends come and go, but that's because it's been my choice, or I just didn't think they were fit for my life. Everybody else around me now, I don't think it wouldn't be in their nature to betray, because we all want to see each other succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
So
equal playing field.
Yeah, so it happens, and it's shit, but you'll be fine. You'll get over it, and it's not that you have to get over it, but you will just pull yourself together. And
there's nothing you can do about it once it happened, because it wasn't your decision to get betrayed, was it?
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is when something's taken out of your control. That is what I struggle with sometimes. That's why I struggled with working with having kids, because somebody else was in control of how many times I saw my kids. But that's not about betrayal. That's just your situation at the time. But it happens. And you just got to, like I say, get back up on the horse and carry on with life, and just take every day as it comes. Yeah. You'll be all right. Not that if you're listening to the OCP to try and get over some betrayal trauma, then
you're in the wrong place.
You're in the very wrong place. Yeah.
We will take your money.
My best joke is about the 4 horsemen, and I love it. Yeah.
The only
take your money. What?
What?
Are you making money from this?
OnlyFans.
You wouldn't even know how to set. Oh, okay. I was going to say you wouldn't know how to set any of it up.
No.
Go on then. Next one.
Suddenly remembering something very important you were supposed to do at work at about 10. No, I'm not really thinking about work at 10 at night.
And also, I think we've picked careers that don't really, like, there's not really time schedule. My job gets done and then I go home. So there's nothing to, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to get it at 10 p.m. and realise, oh shit, half my delivery wasn't done. You know what I mean? It's not something like
you've driven home with the truck. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, just trees have been taken out. And you work, like, it's not that you don't have tasks and stuff to achieve, but you just do what you can do in a day. It's not something that you, like, if you were told to trim a bush, and that sounds really, that's the only example I've got. I'm very novice on what you actually do, and you don't trim that bush, you can be like, I can do it tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow. The one thing that I can relate to that is maybe I've left some tools out, and because it's a hotel, guests might encounter that and have an accident, or some kid might pick up a fork and stab it through his foot or some shit.
They can do that in the canteen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different kind of fork.
Our beds.
Imagine eating with a garden fork. Just
Oh God, some of my meals have to go in that way. Carry on.
oh shit.
Oh God,
Yeah, that's a bit dark.
that's fucking dark. That radiate your balls.
What?
From 10 years ago.
Where's this?
Get help. That's the guy's fucking name.
Oh,
Said
radiate of Jesus.
Not radiate your Jesus. Something else. Radiate your balls, by the way, and this is not a joke. I know we've just been laughing, but I think it needs to be said now for context. Mr. Radiate Your Balls 10 years ago said, hopelessness, it is the true feeling that leads to suicide, which is shit. And obviously, if you're going down that path, please just talk to somebody. But it's the fact that his name's Radiate Your Balls.
Is that an instruction or?
I don't know. Randy Marsh did it, and he was using his balls as a fucking bouncy ball.
Yes.
That was funny. These are 10 years ago, though. Do you want some more recent ones?
How do we do that then? Sort by
top.
new.
No. There we go.
9 years ago.
Clearly, somebody's not.
The feeling where you want something you once had but will never be able to do or obtain again, no matter what. Your mama.
God, that's nearly as dark as Radiate Your Balls' comment. That the feeling where you want something you once had but will never be able to obtain it again.
Like childhood joy, maybe?
Yeah, I guess sometimes we think about moments from our childhood that were like, I was thinking about, because I'm a big motorbike rider, my family are big motorbike riders,
Yeah.
but there was a lot of joy that came to being a kid holding on to your dad whilst he's travelling fast on the back of a motorbike.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the other day, is that I'm never going to be able to be that kid again. Like little things, like I used to headbutt him by accident when he used to heartbreak quite harshly, and I used to do it quite often, and he used to be like, "Can you stop headbutting me?" Try not to headbutt me. So I spent a lot of my time forcing myself to stop headbutting him.
Yeah.
But I was a kid, so yeah, there are moments that I'm like, shit, I'm never going to be able to. But I then can recreate those memories with my kids. Fucking hell's an ice cream truck in this weather. He's
That's
desperate.
mental.
He's really got a wage. He's got a fucking mortgage to pay that man. No, yeah. So like, I'm recreating it with my kids. Kelsey, not that she wouldn't say yes anyway, but we've agreed that I can raise my kids to be motorbike lovers, so I can recreate it with my own children.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about, though, isn't it? Growing up, is you want your children to experience the same joy and excitement that you did. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, and it just annoys the parents.
That's why I'd never force them into a sport that I was into. Like, I'm going to play basketball with them, but I'll never force it upon them. Like, Isabel wants to do horse riding, so we're going out. I've never been interested in horse riding, obviously.
No.
So
just riding dick.
Fucking psycho.
Kidney stones.
Sorry, I've never had them.
Nor have I.
Which is surprising, the amount of carbonated drinks I drink.
Yeah, I don't do carbonated drinks.
I don't think it's just carbonated drinks that give you kidney stones. But I think my kidneys are all right. I've never destroyed them with alcohol.
No.
So I think they can filter shit through quite nicely. Because they've never been down. I don't smoke, and not that smoking damages your kidneys, but does it?
Drink, don't smoke. What do you do?
Drive. Go on in.
Okay, I'm going to read this long one. I have no idea what it is.
Oh, God.
The realization that you're just a tiny part. Oh, this is going to be existential, isn't it?
I thought he was going to read the getting rejected one.
Uh-huh. Okay. No. I'll be real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be real.
Go into it. Yeah.
I won't say her name.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we did say her name in a previous episode.
Depends on how you feel, mate. I know how I feel, but it depends on how you feel.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. But
how do you feel about her?
Nothing.
Okay, so this bitch, right, Katie.
I don't know whether she listens. Probably not.
Probably not, mate.
Okay.
Why would she listen?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you spoken to her since? Do you know if she's going out on more dates with...
Nope. I've met the other guy.
Is he great?
He seems all right.
He must be.
Yeah. Big...
Big
dimples.
broken neck.
No, massive cock.
He is or has?
Is.
Okay, spot on.
No, I don't know. He's all right. Right, sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm here to talk about the socials. Basically, if you're a fan of us, I'm going to give you a list of stuff that you can go and check out if you want to see more of us. So we have an Instagram, which is _OCP. We have a Reddit, which is r/theOCP. We have a YouTube where we upload main content videos, which is the original Copycats. And we have a YouTube for the podcast, which is the OCP. And we also have a TikTok, which is original Copycats. Pretty much the same as the YouTube, to be honest. But yeah, so that's the socials. Go and check them out. Thanks.
Getting rejected for a job by a girl, by society. The girl one is what Alex is referencing. By the other kids in the elementary school. Alex gets rejected by them a lot, but he keeps coming back. When people hate you for being yourself. I think you should care a little bit less, but yes, that's okay, valid. The feeling you get then is the worst feeling there is. It feels like you are worthless for being who you are, and I never want anyone to feel that way. Fair enough, lead 999X 10 years ago. I don't get, it sounds silly, but I don't get a lot of rejection because I don't put myself in a lot of positions for rejection. I've never asked.
You do the rejecting.
No, God, no, I'm not that lucky. For a job, I've never been rejected for a job that I've cared about.
No, I was going to say, I've been rejected for jobs before. And
I've just been like, yeah, fine.
Go for
And
another
every
one
single time I've been rejected for a job, it's worked better for me. So I got rejected
then. Blowjob.
Stop. Drop it, fucking asshole. No, I got rejected from Royal Mail to be a truck driver there because I had too many infringements. But if I had have got that job, I then wouldn't be working for the job I work for now. What was that? What was that?
Infringements.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're quick, but in the wrong ways,
Quick.
man.
That's a quiff, isn't it?
Yes. By a girl, and again, this isn't a brag. I've only ever been interested in 2 women, and both of them had interest in me. And the second,
And there was one cup.
and the second one's now the mother of my 2 children. And
How is Mrs. Cup?
the first one, just we were at different levels of maturity. Yeah, I'm gonna brush past what you said. But then yeah, now I'm marrying the other one. So go on. What about you?
Well, I
By
don't wanna
society,
get-
by the way, I've never been rejected. I couldn't. Maybe in school we
Yeah.
were rejected, but that's because we were different. I don't. You were ginger. I wore glasses, so we weren't really the top tier of people that you know.
We weren't popular.
No, but
kids.
I wouldn't say that's
Yeah.
by society because anybody who's got 2 brain cells to rub together treated us like normal human beings. So there you go. But yeah, you go through the 3 then because that's the 3 they're mentioning. So for a job again,
All right, for a job, like I say, never really given a shit.
no,
By society, yeah,
yeah,
nothing really. I mean,
they
I
do
did
go
think
into it as
I
a
was-
separate category though next to it. But
Yeah.
I would put those 2 together. Society, I don't give a shit about.
no, I think recently I've sort of, especially in the last couple of years, I've sort of come into my own a bit more.
You've come into something. A lot of kids.
Yeah, but I kind of have sort of come into my own and realised that if you are just yourself, no one cares, really.
Yeah.
I don't.
After a certain age, being yourself is what people need to get anyway.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fake. You don't want to act like somebody else around everybody because it's actually quite tiring.
Oh, mate, have you done that thing where you're just like literally a different person for every friend group and it's exhausting?
Again, not no, because I don't know I don't know how else to be anybody else. When we record skits and sketches,
Yeah.
I base my characters on me.
Right.
Leastman's me because he's a dumbass, but he's just as joyful and as funny as I want to be. You know what I mean? The only character that's going to be any different to me as a person is Jay. That'll be the only time I'm playing a character that's different to who I am as a person.
No context for listeners
Yeah,
there, by the
you're
way.
gonna have to. No, you
still
can-
to come.
Just gotta wait.
Shouldn't be long, hopefully.
Maybe, yeah. month. They'll be up.
But yeah, I'm not going to go into detail too much.
Yeah, I
but
don't.
literally, I'm going to say that I had a thing with a girl recently, and it didn't work out, but it left me feeling pretty shit.
It did, but you did it right. You picked yourself back up and you've smashed it. So any females out there that's looking for a lovely skinny ginger with black belt in karate, hit him up. That's actually a bragging right, by the way. I've always wanted a black belt. I wanted it in jiu-jitsu. I'd want it in taekwondo now. I'd be sick as fuck.
That's where you go. You could probably pay
I'm
for
fat.
one. Just get an extra large.
No, you don't. Just see me with a black belt, you're like, I'd still take this cunt. I mean, until they tag me.
I'd take you.
Sorry, Reed, you fucking asshole.
Knowing all the pain that everyone in this thread has gone through, and this is a dark episode.
Don't you think, right? This is maybe me being okay, and I'll fully admit, I think that I've got some case. I don't know what it's called. I don't get very sympathetic.
Okay.
I don't feel a lot of sympathy for people.
Okay.
I'm understanding, but when you take a situation and you try and emphasize, so like the knowing all the pain that everybody in this thread has gone through. No, you don't. First and foremost, you don't.
Right.
And deal with your own pain. Don't worry about, you know what I mean? I find it very hard to understand pains. Is that, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I get
It's
you.
like,
Unless you're feeling the emotion yourself, yeah, it is hard.
I think everybody deals with their own battles different, and we all deal with those situations. You could be put in the same situation as me in a negative contact, but you'll act differently to me. So we can't know for sure what everybody's pain is. You might deal with grief better than I do, or I might deal with it better than you do. We won't know until, unfortunately, our fucking mothers pass away. But we're both going to deal with those same situations differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what it does. So to know the pain that everyone's going through is wrong, because what could be just a paper cut for you could be life and death for somebody else.
Yeah.
So you can't
could
understand.
argue that any pain is pain.
There's different levels there. That's where I get...
But pain is negative, whatever.
It's all
So
shit.
If somebody says, for example, the comment above, having to leave a girl I love with all my heart for months at a time and seeing what she goes through on a daily basis, that might affect them quite badly.
That's a shit situation, but then that person underneath saying they know the pain that everybody in this thread's gone through. No, you haven't.
Maybe knowing is the wrong word. Maybe they just mean feeling.
But can you feel somebody else's pain either?
Some people can.
See,
Empathy.
I didn't feel that.
That's different.
No, it's
as an empath.
I think you have to be. Yeah, you have to be somebody I really care about for me to really think about your situation. When you
but
come to
that's
me,
normal.
Yeah, when you come to me with your stuff, I do feel. I don't understand it as much, and I can't physically think about what it means, like how it feels for you.
Yeah.
But I just need to know. When I say I want you to get it off your chest, when I say to
Say it with your chest.
Can't
Please
say
muffin
the,
cut back blue.
can't say the rest of that. Yeah, when I say to certain people that I want you to get it off your chest and talk to me. I want to be the person. That's not a lie, because I know what it's like to just deal with shit without having somebody to confidently tell, or somebody you don't think would understand. So there's no point in telling them. You know what I mean? But then you get anger. Has unfortunately always been a leading factor of my life. Up until recently, anger has controlled every aspect of my life, along with fear. So anger controls me more, and it's like I won't lash out. I've never been physically violent with anybody, but it'll cut out all kind of sympathy or reasoning, because I couldn't give a shit how you feel. If you've upset me, I don't give a shit.
That's what anger does, though. It's an overriding emotion.
But that's why I think I don't feel sympathy, though, because you've got to be really. If it's what's an example that doesn't make me sound like an absolute prick? 'Cause I know how I can come across when I say it. But it's like when
I know
people...
what you mean, though, because I'm not saying you are, but psychopaths, they don't have any empathy at all.
Doctors.
You can't, but that's a different kind of thing where you can't get emotionally attached.
Yeah.
Because you see it every day.
But then they become psychopaths. They are sociopaths and shit. They will be tested and they test positive for being sociopaths, on par with people like Bundy and shit. Doctors just don't feel anything, and that's been proven. That they, you know what I mean? But it's situations like life situations. Somebody throws a life situation at me, and I instantly, as we all do, compare it to your own. Yeah. And if I don't feel like that person has gone through enough mature growth or they're talking about something that even as a younger person myself, and let's say I'm talking to somebody older that's now going through something that I learned 6 years ago.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, you're 6 years late, mate.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I could have told you all this. I could have helped you for all of this.
But if that person didn't know you 6 years ago,
Oh, they did.
are you thinking of someone specific?
No, the situations come up. If it's that, I'm not blind to. If you've had a situation that's come, and again, I don't think I'm progressing faster than people as a competition. I want to see everybody succeed. All I want to do is help everybody around me get to where they need to be in life.
Yeah.
But it's a case of like somebody will say a life scenario, or somebody who's just joining a life scenario and acts like they're the only one going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas, so kids, for example, people having kids, I cannot wait for you guys to have kids, you and Richard. When Richard told me he was having a kid, I'm buzzing. Honestly.
So I'm not with Richard.
Yeah, no. When Richard told me he's having a kid, I was buzzing. But there are people out there that I've known and that having a kid takes over their life. And it does. Having kids changes your life. But you decide on how much of your life it takes up. You decide that. The kid does not decide that.
Right.
If you've got a good team behind you, like most people do, I'm not saying everybody does, most people do, you can have your time. So I can have the kids whilst Kelsey goes out and enjoys herself. Kelsey can have the kids while I can go out and do stuff like the podcast.
Yeah.
Because this is how it works. You don't need to spend every waking moment. But when somebody tells me that I've got a kid and this is a completely false situation. This hasn't happened yet. Because everybody that has kids around me, Courtney and stuff, understands he's not like that. You know what I mean? But there are people that are like, I can't meet up in 3 weeks because I might have the kids. It's like you're basing your whole life on a might or a maybe. Like, you can't live like that because all you're going to be doing is living for your kids, which is fine. That's what you should do. But you need to live for yourself a little bit too. Yeah. You need to, otherwise you're just going to resent them. Mm-hmm. I love my kids. I would give my life for my kids in a heartbeat. No questions asked. But do they get on my fucking nerves? Yes, they do. You need your space away from your kids. And just having like a lot. It sounds like I'm picking on somebody that we know. I'm not. But you're not the only one that's gone through it. Yeah. And I could learn something from them as they could learn something from me. And being quite young when I had my kids, I think I had to learn quite quickly. Yeah. And all it is knowledge I want to pass on.
I think some people have an idea of what life is meant to be like when you have kids. And I'll say that I'm probably guilty of that misconception as well, where as soon as you have them, it's like, oh, wow, you've lost all your freedom then because you've got to care for them. And that might be true within the first year or something, because you've got this child that is completely dependent on you. And, you know, if you don't feed it, or
it's a bit different. You feed them when you feed yourself. So nothing changes.
So when you're sucking on a tit.
Oh my God. You've never sucked on a tit.
I know.
No, it's...
But yeah, like, I think some people have that conception of, oh, okay, so once I've got kids, I need to fully invest all my time in them. And then when it comes around, if they're not, they feel like they're not doing enough.
Yeah. That annoys me the most as well, is the preconception of having children. Mm-hmm. You talk to anybody our age that is against having kids, which they are allowed to be. You do not have to have kids. I don't think you're maybe fulfilled as much until you have kids, because you have to grow up so quickly when you have kids. So fucking quickly. Yeah. No matter what age you are. You could be 50 having your first kid. Trust me now, there'll be a more mature version of you 2 years after you have kids, because you just have to be. Because then somebody is genuinely relying on you for survival. It changes your whole perspective of life. Yeah. But I was listening to the Sidemen podcast, and obviously only one of them has got kids. And I think it was JJ. He was saying how...
He doesn't have kids.
No. Ethan has kids. He has a daughter. JJ was saying on the pod, I know what you're saying, you little fuck. JJ was saying that people under 23 shouldn't be allowed to have kids because he doesn't think that they're mature enough. Okay. Now, I understand that as a business, the Sidemen are very, very clued up. They know what they're doing. But I could tell you now, from what I've seen, I'm more mature than most of them because I have kids. And because I had kids young.
Take.
Yeah.
That's our thumbnail.
You can have that, yeah. But I see the way. Obviously, I know that they overplay it for the camera, but I think they're in their 30s and they're still not saying they shouldn't be doing the shit they do because it's very entertaining, and I don't ever want them to stop. But to say that somebody shouldn't be able to have or shouldn't be allowed to have kids before 23,
It's a very blanket statement,
yeah,
isn't it?
having kids before 23 changed my life for the better. I had no purpose, no meaning of life before I had my kids. I got up because I needed to, not because I wanted to. You know what I mean? After I had Isabel, it was like a switch had been flicked in my life, and it didn't matter what I wanted. I then saw a future for myself. I wanted to earn more money. I wanted to do more things because I wanted them to have everything I didn't have.
Yeah.
And I had a lot. I was very privileged. I had very strict parents, but I always had a roof over my head, and we were okay.
Yeah.
But I want them to have more.
Two roofs.
That's why. Oh, 2 roofs, yeah. They can have an attic, can't they? Yeah.
Really strict parents.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm on good money now.
Yeah.
And that I wouldn't put that down to my efforts. I wouldn't. I've had to do the tests. I've had to get the jobs. But without Kelsey and this is no dig on you, Kelsey. I love you. Kelsey was the first domino. But then that had to knock into a really fucking big domino, and that domino was Isabel. And she just knocked them all out of the park after that. All my aspirations of life, everything I wanted to achieve, all came to light when Isabel came in. And it's amazing how quickly that... But if I'd had that at 30, in my opinion, I'd already be too late to have that change.
Yeah.
Whereas don't worry, you're not too late. I can guide you for you.
That's why I'm not that interested.
Okay, good. I'm glad I had that light turned on for me at 20.
Yeah.
Because then it's allowed me to not 5 years later get into a career that's paying me double, nearly triple what I was on before Isabel was born. So it's taken me 5 years to triple my wage, which I'm pretty proud of.
That's a good achievement.
But I would credit that to Isabel, and then obviously Oliver.
Yeah, she's out there doing the truck driving. Yeah.
I would. Actually. Go on, Isabel.
Just two tiny little hands.
No, they're all scared of trucks, man. Kids are scared of sitting in the driver's seat. They think they're going to push a button and like blow up the truck. So trust me, you're not going to be able to reach anything that's going to blow up the truck. Sorry, they went on a bit of a tangent. Alex will cut out or keep what he deems necessary there. But yeah, all that came from me just not having sympathy, by the way. I have some sympathy. I just don't have a lot. You have to earn my sympathy.
I'm not going to be reading that.
For failing to perform at 23. Is that a sexual thing?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, anxiety preventing. Which is fine. That's so fine.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no shame in that, Con.
Okay, right, we'll go for this one.
You going for the big one?
For me personally, not me. This is me reading it.
For Mega Maxi, 10 years ago.
Remembering back to that one weekend when I was maybe 7 years old, and I point blank refused to spend the weekend with my dad because I wanted to play a new game Mum had just bought me. He only used to see me one Saturday a month as my parents had separated, and he used to work a lot. And he drove to pick me up, but I threw a tantrum and refused to go. So he drove away visibly deflated. Jeez. And
you don't realise that shit as a kid, but yeah.
100%. I've got 2 stories already in my head.
I've got one in my head as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, straight off. Yeah.
And I went back to playing my game. The story isn't particularly traumatic as my dad is still alive and we have a great relationship now. Pretty much best friends. Great.
Which is good. That's a really nice end to
But if I could go back in time, I'd slap my 7-year-old self across the face. Yeah.
Because you think that horrible cliche of the grass is always greener. You thought the grass would be greener playing that game with your mum.
Yeah.
Whereas reality, you could have had a really good fucking time with your dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But go on, do one of yours. I'll do mine. You do your last one because you said you got 2.
So I'll do the dad-related one first. So
Yep.
my dad took me to a place once called Fleet Air Arm Museum.
Okay.
Which is
that's a very you and your dad thing there.
We like doing that sort of stuff. It was like big planes and war boats and all this.
Definitely, that's a bit of you, yeah.
And there was a simulator in there that was a helicopter. And in that, it was really loud. I was about 6, if that, maybe 4 or 5, maybe. I was really young. Okay. I remember that.
Yeah.
But it was really loud. and I had sensitive ears and stuff as a kid, so I couldn't go to the cinema or anything like that because it was too loud for me.
God.
Yeah. Ladies. So
You're not a kid anymore.
even better.
Oh.
So yeah, and I cried my eyes out and made a massive scene because of this simulator, and it pissed my dad off, and he basically was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake," took me home.
Were they
and then-
separated at the time, your mum and
No,
dad?
this was when they were still
Okay.
together.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm not taking him out anymore. He makes a bloody fuss, made me look like an idiot. We had to leave halfway through.
Yeah.
It was really embarrassing and all this." And I'm like, "Oh." At the time, didn't think anything of
No,
it.
you don't. Yeah.
But he kept reminding me of that
Yeah.
every time we would talk about going anywhere. He's like, "Oh, let's not make it a repeat of Fleet Air Arm and all this." Anyway, I then...
You went
when
back and did it again.
when I was about 17, I took him to go. We went in his car, but I paid for it and everything, and we went, and it was a nice sort of round circle thing
Yeah.
because we went back.
You changed the memory.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't cry. It was still quite scary, but it was a nice memory, and
Yeah.
I have that now. Whenever I think of Fleet Air Arm, I don't think of the first one. I think of the second one, which
Good.
was much better.
That's good. I like that.
But I can relate to how that guy
Yeah.
felt with sort of defeating your dad's optimism of a
Well,
certain
mine
situation.
is near enough identical to this, but I know. So they didn't go into what they were going to do with their dad. Their dad might have had a whole day planned. Just don't. What is wrong with you? So
Sorry.
this is my scenario. Was I had my old best friend Bradley round.
Yeah.
We were playing. We were like 8 or 9 years old. We were just playing in the garden, playing basketball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was going off-roading that evening,
Okay.
and he'd asked me, because I was only one of the 3 kids that liked going off-roading. I was the only one that didn't get scared of it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But I only saw Brad once every 4 or 5 months, to a point where he'd come round and we'd do this. So I loved it. It was great fun. So I said no to my dad going off-roading so I could stay at home and play football or basketball with Brad.
Yeah.
That turned out to be one of the most boring nights of interaction, because as soon as my dad left, we stopped playing the ball games for some reason, and we just sat on the sofa watching TV. It was
Yeah.
boring. My dad got stuck in a World War II bunker for 2 days
What?
and had to get pulled out. He went up a hill
Yeah.
because no other car was willing to go up it. My dad's quite a ballsy bloke. He don't really have an off switch of activity. He'll just go fucking do it.
Yeah.
So he floored it. He went up this hill, and his car took off and landed nose first in a World War II bunker. The car was stuck there for 2 days. It took him 2 days to get this car out of this fucking ditch. I missed all of that because I wanted to stay at home and play fucking ball games with Brad that ended 10 minutes after he left.
Jeez.
And that,
That's
to a lot of
mental.
people, that would be like, oh, yeah, well, you dodged a bullet. No, I didn't. Because,
You
and
didn't
I,
get a story out of it.
yeah, and again, Dad, if you're watching this, all right, I'm not being cheesy for being cheesy's sake. I no matter how much we've disagreed or fallen out in the past, and how strict my dad is, I've always idolised him. My brother and sister idolised my mum. She deserved it. She was a saint. My dad always kind of got the shit end of the stick. He was always, nobody really wanted to spend time with him for some reason, whereas I wanted nothing more than to spend
He was
time.
driving nose first into bunkers
He did that once, all right? But
that you know of.
I would have said yes to that scenario any other day.
Yeah.
It just happened to fall on a day that Brad was around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what pisses me off, is because I would have rather have gone with him and had that experience. He still enjoyed himself. Dad doesn't show annoyance. He doesn't show upset when if he says, do you want to do something, you say no. Maybe now he would show a bit more emotion to it, but back then when I was a kid, it would come across like he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a very common thing for my dad. And he would probably listen to this now. He'd probably listen into it and say, no, I genuinely didn't care that you came or not. And that's not him being a prick. That's just him. He knew he was going to go out with a few mates, go and do what he loved, and having his son there would have just been a bonus,
Mm-hmm.
or a hindrance, depending on how you see young kids going to fucking off-roading.
Yeah.
But I see it as like, I missed such a valuable, fun experience that I could have had with my dad. Now I see the picture and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But I could have been watching the pictures and the videos saying I could have been there.
Yeah.
I could have been a part of that.
Yeah, that makes
You know?
sense.
So that was my experience. Go on, your third one. Oh, your second one, sorry. What?
So I just read that sentence here.
Yeah, stepping on a Lego.
No, the one
Oh.
underneath. The feeling you get when you wake up in the morning and lay in bed, stare at the window and you can't get up. Not because you haven't got legs. And then it turns out to be really sad.
It does, yeah. Go on,
So my second one was my grandparents were... We'd gone to a caravan holiday once.
Yeah.
Me, my grandparents, and my aunt. And me and my aunt were going to go somewhere on our own. And she was a fun aunt when I was younger.
She's still fun now, isn't it? It's the same aunt I'm
Yeah, but I
thinking
don't see her and do the same
of. No,
things.
but
that I
you do
used
activities with her.
Yeah.
You went to fucking theatre with her, didn't you?
I go to a lot of concerts and stuff.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm,
I do
I'm saying
remember.
she was a fun aunt as a child.
Yeah.
Fucking twisty word bastard.
Now she's
Um,
boring as fuck.
Yeah. no,
Takes him to
fucking-
concerts.
I don't know what that
Oh
was.
my god. You just said now she's disabled. That she's no fun anymore. You just held out your hand like she was holding a cane.
Yeah. Because she's old.
Still? Then you went, ugh.
Anyway.
Right, maybe this episode's been a realization that Alex is maybe coming back out as bisexual.
So, we were going to go somewhere, and then my grandparents said that they were going to come as well, and I pulled a face to say that I didn't want them to come. Essentially, I was like,
Oh my god. Sat up from your granddad's lap. He's like, no, I don't want you to come.
I am never going to think of that memory the same way now.
You shouldn't have made the joke then. I wouldn't have continued it.
Oh,
Go on then.
so yeah,
So after you, Granddad, I want you to come.
I wrote in my diary, which I think I still have somewhere, and I was like, I pulled a face at my grandparents, and they were really sad that I didn't want them to come, and don't.
You were so close. You just edged your granddad.
Fuck me. Right, let's move on.
I
Next.
had one. Hang on, quickly. I've just thought of one. I
Yeah.
got told off one day and sent to my room. And I said to myself, whilst I'm sat on the windowsill looking out the window, I said, the next person to come to the door, I'm just going to tell to go away. And
That's my granddad.
no, it
I
was
don't want
my,
you to come.
no, it was. I think it was my nan, and it was her
Oh,
saying.
no.
I think it was. I thought it was naturally. I thought it was going to be my brother,
Yeah,
or or my mum that I was willing to say go away to.
right.
I think it was my dad's mum, and she'd come up to say goodbye, and I just gone go away. And then yeah, that was it. I felt really bad for that because I still think to this day that it was my nan.
Toothache. Right, that'll do.
Toothache. Oh,
What is this episode? Okay.
you suck out of your granddad, probably, mate. Oh my God, are you inhaling it? Jesus Christ, how small was it? Like a vacuum. Come on, Grandad, let's get your little toddler dancing.
God. Right. Thanks for listening to me suck off my granddad.
Don't admit to it, dude. That makes it canon. That gives it legs.
Yeah, good ones.
You said your granddad's got sexy legs. Oh, God.
Sex on legs. Oh, he can't really walk.
Which granddad are we on about?
Take your pick.
I don't would rather
One
not.
has a catheter.
Oh, that one. It's like spaghetti when
I
it
don't-
comes out. Shouldn't have gone along with the joke. You should have cut it off.
Oh, that wouldn't help.
It might have done.
Right. Thanks for listening to today's episode and watching if you did. Join us again next time when we're doing something else. Jesus Christ.
Watching, that's a bit optimistic that you're going to get 3 video episodes out whilst this one. You're just
Broken
gonna
leg,
skip,
mate.
You're going to skip the last 2, are you?
I think I might.
Oh, God.
I might upload just a video of the pictures.
Oh, God, what are you doing?
Excuse me. All right, I'm injured. Okay.
You remember how I mentioned about the no sympathy? I saw you walking today. So.
Barely, if you could call that walking. Okay, right, yeah. See you later, guys.
Goodbye.
That was abrupt ending. Bye.
That was fun. Sucked off your granddad. You dropped your phone.
This is an Off the Tongue podcast.